legislation because it did not receive much of any Senate vote, nor was it assigned from a previous or current president. Now for some, this bill may appear to be very convenient, but what most fail to realize about this situation is the true nature of what this bill is really all about. To put it simply, the National ID card is biometrics on steroids. Let me put it like this. Your driver's license, birth certificate, social security card, fingerprints, iris retina scan, health records, criminal background, credit history, and a small database chip along with every piece of personal information you could possibly imagine is all stored in this one National ID card. Should this PASS ID Act get presidential approval, the very foundation of our individual privacy will become subject of everlasting scrutiny. Do you really think this bill will actually benefit you and your family? Many have protested against this violation of privacy, because at the end of the day, the only ones who truly benefit from this worldly agenda are the same people who brung you 9/11. Among the reality that driver's licenses, birth certificates, and all other personal documentation will basically become obsolete once this Real ID is implemented upon society, in order to understand this breakdown accurately as to why the first and second step of this matter has come into play, it is to give birth to the most totalitarian third step of them all, which is the very chip. Throughout the progression of these tyrannic bills being fought to pass legislation with tooth and nail, the top global elites have been working alongside with one of the biggest, unpatriotic, corrupt scientific corporations to implant a rice grain-sized microchip tracking device pierced inside the flesh of every man, woman, and child in order to bring forth what this Luciferic empire has been striving to achieve for the last half-century, and that is a microchip-controlled population. This will most likely occur before or after martial law has passed, or when the man-made swine flu pandemic has reached level 6. This microchip will contain your entire existence, from where you live, how much you have left in your bank account, to where you are located on Earth exactly at any given time or place. Every orbiting satellite will transmit your approximate location anywhere on the planet, monitoring all transactions you make under constant surveillance 24 hours a day. It is estimated that roughly more than 26,000 people all across the globe have accepted to take this microchip implant, and is now growing more and more as each day passes, with the mainstream media pushing to fear condition the clueless minds of society with nothing but one oversaturated war clip after another. I cannot stress enough of how crucial it is for you to understand that if you were to take this microchip implant, as much as you might think that it is beneficial to your own safety, the truth is, you won't. For the very moment you inject this implant into your body, every aspect of your entire life will be magnified, watched, and controlled under the lens of their microscope. The apathy of the majority of the American people is in a constant battle to know the real truth, but cannot grasp the bigger picture. When I say this, you should keep in mind that when you combine all three of these steps together, you will then finally come to see the true intention and purpose for what this microchip is really for. Have you ever questioned yourself as to why the American dollar has dramatically decreased in value, or wondered why every single conglomerate corporation has always preferred the American people to purchase or sell anything only through the use of checks, debit, or credit cards, never actually seeing the physical money other than what you may have in your wallet? This design is to adapt into society and to strip man from all physical currency, give rise to those who control in the shadows, and when the time is right, create a cashless society. The beginning stages of this RFID implantation will be first introduced as a voluntary system to where you can choose to take it or not take it at all. But it's just a matter of time before this freedom of choice is no longer an option and will become mandatory by law. The parallels in this case bring us to the two most obvious yet disturbing signs in this situation to prove why this problem was foretold thousands of years ago and how it relates to the modern day consequences we would face should we refuse to comply with our malignant government. How so? For whosoever were to take this microchip and shortly after decide to not conform with the government, after realizing the true nature of this tracking module, will just end up having the Verichip turned off. From this point, every person who embodies this disabled microchip will by law become strictly prohibited to sell or purchase any source of food, clothes, shelter, medical treatment, and I mean anything, simply because your entire identity will no longer remain active in a database system. Now, where do we find the parallels in comparison to this agenda? In the very last book of the New Testament. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in the foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell unless he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Understand that these adamant factors will be put into place while the media instills fear into society, because at the end of it all, the painted future will be for everyone to accept the mark of the beast. Since you still have the narrowest window of opportunity to actually learn this vital information in accordance with the limited amount of truthful credible sources exposing this knowledge, time is of essence for you to finally understand why you must not believe the countless falsified reasons to accept implanting this microchip into your body. This tyrannic plot is by far probably the most self-deluded enslaving philosophy that the ruling class elite have adopted. But be that as it may, as surreal this information may appeal, the Illuminati have planned this long before technology ever actually came into existence. And I only use this analogy to simplify how luciferic this agenda has been for the last several centuries. So in turn, after observing all of these documented facts in the greatest scope of detail from all possible vantage points, know this. Whether you are a Democrat, Republican, rich, poor, overweight, skinny, tall, short, or any of those things, understand that love, unity, and freedom has long since always been the primary enemy to obliterate completely. For this has been designed and camouflaged to perpetuate the smokescreen of individual liberty, inevitably inducing the deception of freedom. From creating wars, supporting political parties, to even just purchasing your first home. The most essential method that is used to manifest this abhorrent illusion upon humanity is to not give you rights, but limited privileges restricting freedom of choice in order to control society so that you always remain blind, ignorant, as a prisoner of your own mind without ever realizing it. The hidden hand of Satan has quietly provided the top global elites with the most uncontrollable power, which is to remove all sovereignty from every country, one continent at a time, forming union after union until all four corners of the world have united as one, in a desperate race to merge and establish a new world order. And then complete what Adam Weishaupt, Adolf Hitler, and George Herbert Walker Bush have all dreamed for the last 300 years. And that is a one world government.
The very highest degrees of which, combined together, make up a secret order known as the Illuminati. Their goal is to destroy all existing religions save theirs, all existing governments save theirs, and shackle the mob in a system of eternal oppressive debt chained to a computer for the rest of their life, and a propagandized world to make them believe that they are happy in this system.